When bad things happen, whether it's a sudden death of a loved one, a lost friendship, a breakup, whatever it might be, during that dynamic, your feelings can all get tangled up. You start feeling this rush of emotions. You don't even know how to feel. You don't know how to process the next thing. You just want the whole world to be at pause for a minute. Now imagine avoiding grief in that moment. You would end up having clustered feelings, having that whole tangled up emotions stored somewhere, and you move on with your life, you think. But then the things you once knew how to handle, you don't know how to handle anymore because you're yet to confront your grief. You're yet to sit with it. You need to open the door of your heart and let grief come in. Let it stay. Give it time. Let it thrive. Chat with it. Hold hands with it. Talk to it. And listen. 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 It has a mission. Yes. Grief has a mission. Grief is not just coming to make you feel sad, just to break you down and make you feel hopeless and worthless and cry and lose yourself. Yes, the process is hard. The process requires all of that. And that could be hard. Mhm. Nobody wants to be sad. Everybody wants to be happy. But grief is very powerful. It can unpack the things that you've left off. As you're grieving, as you're crying, as you're breaking down, grief is busy decluttering those things that are not needed, the feelings in your mind. That is why when you're letting the flow of sadness, the flow of sorrow move, you start having this wave of memories spent with the deceased, spent with the lost friend. As you're feeling that sadness, the core of the sadness, you start remembering the memories that you've locked up, the things you refuse to confront. After that moment of sadness, after that moment of grieving, truly grieving, you can now decide if you're keeping some or decluttering some. Let grief do its job. When grief knocks on your door, it's not coming to just break you down. It is coming to help you. Let it thrive. You should see grief as a handyman or whatever they're called, coming to help you solve an issue. Because when bad things happen, trust me, bad things will always happen. Are you going to keep running away from it or are you going to face it?
My first encounter with grief was in 2006. I had been away for a week-long camp with an organization that my family was attending. So it was such a fun camping experience for a kid back then. I noticed my dad was a bit pensive, right? It was quiet for a bit. Then he said, what happened was my uncle, that's his older brother, whom we all love, like we all love. Every holiday, we go to his house, we all congregate in his house. My uncle slumped while he was praying and then went into a coma. And then I remember my chest getting pretty heavy. My dad was so solemn throughout his narration. He said, yeah, and then he was rushed into the hospital. They announced he was in a coma. Yeah, we lost him. And I remember going numb. My favorite uncle, hearing that my favorite uncle is just gone, like gone. Then I now really looked and I saw pain on my dad's face, pain like I had never seen before in my young life. That was my first major encounter with grief, and I'm someone that has had friendship griefs. Just like taxes and oxygen is constant, death is constant, grief is constant. Something we all have to deal with in one form or the other. May we have the energy and the strength to live with it. Not handle it, not deal with it, because that's you thinking you can muzzle it. You cannot. You live with it. You learn to live with grief.
The concept of grief for me is not something you've had and you've lost. It's not a loved ones. It's not an item that you had and then you lost. Mine is what you could have been and you could not get, you could not achieve. It's just set plans that at 25 you want to be this, you want to be that, at 26, at 30. And then coming to the realization that you are this age, you've passed this set age and you did not achieve what you wanted and that you will never achieve it at that age. That's not to say you won't achieve it another time. That's not to say it's not something achievable in the nearest future. But that day you set, that's coming to the realization that acceptance, it's a thing on its own. It's what you want. And one thing I've done to motivate myself is to follow my normal three guardians of life: the love, faith, and hope. Because I believe that when there is hope, you can literally achieve so much more. I have a community. Your community might just be two people. people you trust, people you can share your process with, people you can share your pain, your feelings with. I the last point there would be cried out. I don't keep in my emotions, I don't bottle in my emotions, I just let it out. And I believe that you out there listening to this right now, if you can believe that it will be better tomorrow, if you can build your own community, manage your emotions, let it out when necessary, I'm sure you will be better. Because you have to, right? You really have to be better.
On the 25th of December 2025, I lost my dad. It has been one of the greatest loss I've ever experienced. It's been 5 months now, and I still feel his absence every day. Some days I feel okay, some days I don't. But that's one thing about grief. It is non-linear. It's you don't experience it all at once, and sometimes you do. But if you are someone who's lost a loved one, a parent, a brother, a sibling, just know that grief exists because love exists, and you do fine.
I believe that everyone or few persons have tasted what grieving actually feels like. And mine happened to be when I lost someone so dear to me, my grandma. She meant everything to me, and she was my beacon of hope. To be honest, I didn't handle it like the best person. Every single day I cried about it. Grieving is not just all about being the strongest person in the room. It's not just all about feeling weak. No, grieving is also a test of how much you love someone, how strong you are. But what will be will always be. It can be very painful. It can be very touching. Be strong. Be courageous. Be comforted. Because the ones that you lost want you to be happy, want you to